I got to tell everyone that the price of gas actually went up another 2 cents overnight. It's actually up 10 cents from last week. $3.78 is your gallon of gasoline. That would be regular nationwide. GasBuddy guy, Patrick De Haan, joining us here. All right, Patrick, how much does a storm like Ian affect gas prices nationwide?
Well, Stuart, thankfully not really at all. We did see some offshore oil production shut down initially after Ian's projected track was into the panhandle of Florida, but much of that has been restored. So no refineries have really been shut down because of Ian, so this is going to be a blip. But having said that, there are many refinery issues in different regions of the country. California seeing a lot of refinery issues. Their prices are up over 50 cents a gallon from a week ago, as well as prices jumping in the Great Lakes and Plain states. And at the same time, Stuart, prices going down in the Gulf Coast and the Northeast.
You've got to tell me about California again, because we have the average for a gallon of regular in California now at $6.18 a gallon. That's just up 15 cents overnight. How many refineries have run into trouble in California?
Well, Stuart, at latest count, I count at least 4. Now, some of the problem lies in the fact that refineries normally do maintenance in fall because demand goes down after the conclusion of the summer driving season. Not only are some refineries down for maintenance for the next month or so, but we're also seeing unexpected issues in both Northern and Southern California. And keep in mind, those refineries also serve markets like Las Vegas and Phoenix, where prices are also going up. So suddenly, because of maintenance and unexpected outages, gas prices in California could get close to their previous high water mark, which, by the way, was $6.46 a gallon in mid-June. We could get very close to that in the West Coast, but that does not tell the full tale. Gas prices moving in different directions depending on where you are in the country.
Okay, now New Jersey is going to drop its gas tax just 1 cent a gallon. You know, Patrick, I don't think that's going to make that much difference.
It's not, Stuart, but when have we ever seen taxes go down, right? The only thing in life, death, and taxes, and now suddenly some states, well, New Jersey going down a penny, but some states are continuing their gas tax holidays. Georgia, still one of those states where a tax holiday exists. And keep in mind, in Florida, the gas tax holiday was scheduled to be instituted in October. So Florida is going to see lower prices yet coming in the weeks ahead as that gas tax holiday kicks in.
Are we driving less?
We certainly are compared to the summer. Gasoline demand has inched down. We did see a bit of a spurt, especially in Florida, as the approach of Hurricane Ian hit. But now we are starting to see a cool off in gasoline consumption. But with all the refinery shutdowns, Stuart, that's little comfort, and that's why prices continue to go up.
Where I am in the Northeast, I'm still paying well over $5 a gallon for diesel, and I noticed that the national average is still at $4.87. What's the prospects for a real decline in the price of diesel? Any chance?
Well, not so much, Stuart, especially ahead of winter. Of course, a lot of those northeastern homes still use heating oil in the winter months. That means that diesel's demand peaks in winter instead of summer. So gasoline peaks in summer, diesel in winter. So don't expect much of a break, especially when it comes to the price of diesel, depending on, too, Mother Nature. And more notably, northeastern refineries have lost a lot of capacity in the last few years. So it could be a painful winter for both farmers bringing up crops from agriculture and to heat your homes because of the lack of diesel fuel in the markets. Keep in mind, diesel supply 18% below the 5-year average.
Ouch. I put diesel in my tractor. I know all about it. Patrick De Haan, thanks for joining us. Always appreciate it. See you again soon.
Thanks, Stuart.